All right, hey there. Let me adjust this a little bit. A little bit more here, maybe. Hey, Jaden here, coming at you from my house in Florida. Brady asked me to do a video about AI and real estate. I did a couple of these last year, but it's been probably 9 months since I did it, and the AI stuff is changing so fast, and I spend a lot of time. Probably half of my time throughout the week is trying to stay up on AI stuff because it's so important. And I don't want to get behind because if you don't stay up on it, you're going to get behind fast. So anyway, just out here enjoying the sunshine. I'm actually in the shade here in Illinois. You can see in the reflection there, it's pretty sunny out, so I'm going to try to hang out in the shade for a bit here. But really nice day, mid-80s maybe, probably right now. So AI, where do I start with AI? So it is the end of April 2026, and it's important, I think, to say what the date is, because things are changing so fast that a month from now what I say isn't going to be totally true anymore, probably. But as of late April 2026, I think the strongest AI tool that I use is Claude Opus, and Anthropic is the company that came out with Claude. And Claude is really a capable tool. They really focused on, I think Claude and Anthropic focused on going after business users and enterprise users more so than the general public, where OpenAI went after the general public more, I think. And I think that, so OpenAI had really explosive growth in users, but it's not as, it's more of a, it's a bit of a novelty, or it's definitely useful, but they didn't focus on the productivity part of it, like the business use of it. So Claude is really cool because you can create PDFs out of it. You can read PDFs, you can create presentations, it can code, you can create websites, you can create documents, spreadsheets, the kind of stuff you would do in a white-collar job. I mean, my white-collar jobs have always been really heavy on spreadsheets, Word documents, PDFs, and PowerPoint presentations, and then websites too. And then maybe the occasional other kind of file types, but that's like 95% of my jobs are in those file types. And Claude can, without doing anything extra, can read all those files and can create files for you too. So you can say, Claude, create me a PDF of, do a market research study for the Minnesota market for single-family houses, blah, 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 whatever you want done. And it'll create you a really nice research report, something that you might have to spend thousands of dollars to create with a research company. And I've bought $5,000 to $10,000 research reports numerous times. And now I feel like Claude is giving you probably 80% of that for close to free now. It's not giving you 100% because those market research companies will do offline work that Claude can't do. Like they'll make phone calls and different things to try to get offline data that's really useful. So I don't think Claude totally replaces some of those expensive market research reports, but it does replace a lot of the introductory stuff that you might want to learn and do. But when you finally go close like a big commercial loan on a development project or something, you're still probably going to need that $5,000 or $10,000 report, just as proof that the project makes sense. But I've been using it a ton for stuff like that, market research. Like, hey Claude, scan the entire country and give me the best markets for this business, or give me the, scan the competition, or and give me the best markets to enter. I've been looking into plumbing businesses and things like that, and sewer relining businesses. What are the best markets with the least competition for those kinds of businesses with the highest margins, highest pricing? And it's not 100% accurate, but it gives you a starting point. And without it, I couldn't even imagine how much work it would take to manually go figure all that out. It'd be so much work that you wouldn't do it, and pretty much no one does. But you can get Claude to do this stuff, and go put together a few weeks worth of work for you, and maybe an hour it'll spend on that. So Claude is super useful. I've created websites, I've created apps. You can create apps with Claude. You can create really cool apps. I've created underwriting apps. I actually took all of our real estate data from our CRM tool with all the flips and all the wholesale deals and all the data in there for the last year. I put that in Claude, and I had Claude create an AI-based underwriting tool based off of all of our data. So like addresses, what area of town, age of house, condition of house, size of house, all this stuff. It takes all this data together, price point of the house, and then created this AI underwriting tool that is a web page that we can go into that web page and enter an address for a house, what price we're thinking of paying for it, what price we think it's worth, and then maybe some other data like how big it is. But it actually it goes and pulls the internet reports, the Zillow reports or whatever for the size. And anyway, it'll take this information that you go enter the data, it'll go look at our database, and it will give you an idea of how risky the project is based on your past results. It'll say what's your risk factor, what things to watch out for, what you could expect on pricing, and is it a good deal or not, and if it's a risky deal, maybe you should pay, it gives you a kind of price ranges to pay. So it's just super, super cool and helpful. And I created that tool in, probably under an hour with Claude. Just took exported all of our CRM data from last year into a spreadsheet, dumped the spreadsheet into Claude, told Claude generally what I wanted it to create. It pumped out a web page, and then I published the web page to tinysite.com or something like that for like $5 a month. And then I can share that with the whole team, and everybody can, underwrite deals with this website now. It's really super cool. So we also have an offer generator tool. We've had one for years, an app that we created about 10 years ago, and I spent thousands of dollars creating this app, and now you can use Claude to generate this app that's even better for essentially free. I do have the paid version of Claude, so it's not free. It's whatever Claude costs per month, $100 or whatever it is. But if you look at the value I can get out of Claude versus what I spend on like having an app designed or a website designed or a market research report, every one of these things is thousands of dollars. App $5,000, market research $5,000, website $5,000, and I can churn stuff out like that. In an hour. It is really incredible. It's mind blowing what Claude can do. And I think Gemini and ChatGPT could do these things as well, but for some reason Google and OpenAI have not given those tools permissions to create like PDFs and stuff like that. You have to use. I think it can be done, but you've got to like connect other tools to it or do other stuff. It's not just natively built in. And so I find myself using Claude a lot because those tools it's extra steps to do it. And so I use Gemini for image creation because Gemini has Nano Banana built into it. Nano Banana is Google's image generation tool, which has been the best image tool until I think last week when ChatGPT came out with their new image generator tool, which might be better. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard it's better. So I might use ChatGPT for images going forward. I haven't tried it, but it sounds promising. But Gemini is very good for. Gemini is kind of my daily driver AI tool, I would say. Gemini it's got access to. I gave it access to all my Gmail accounts, my Google Calendars, my Google Drive, I'm on Google for everything. We have Google Workspace for the business, so Gemini has access. I went in there and turned on access, linked all those accounts to it, so it has all this context of my life for the last 20 years, or however, I think it's probably been 20 years or so, and so it's really incredibly. It knows more about me than I remember about myself. So when I ask it questions and things, it tells me things. I'm like, wow, I can't believe you knew that. So Gemini is also pretty fast. So Google made it there's a fast mode and a thinking mode. And the fast mode I try to use most of the time. It's pretty light and pretty quick. And for most things, it's kind of replacing Google search a little bit for me. I'm using Gemini fast mode for most things. You can also talk to Gemini. I don't love the personality, but it's kind of like I don't know. It's like it feels like talking to an engineer a little bit. So the personality is not great, but it's okay. ChatGPT is a lot more of a fun personality. It sounds like more fun. It sounds like what's her name? Famous actress. Oh, it's gonna kill me. Not Savannah Guthrie. Avengers chick. What's her name? She has red hair. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But it sounds like a famous actress. ChatGPT has a much better intonation and just sounds like a more excited, more fun person to talk to. And Gemini gets to be a little annoying when you're talking to it. So as far as talking, and those are the two that I talk to. I don't talk to Claude at all. I haven't talked to Claude that much. So ChatGPT I use for talking usually because it's less annoying, and I'll use ChatGPT for just kind of as a third thing to check. Like I'll use Gemini first, Claude for business productivity, for creating files and documents and websites and apps, and then ChatGPT is more of a, if I try Gemini and Claude and I want a third-party perspective on it, I'll check that. Or if I just want to talk to someone that's not annoying, talk to an AI that's not annoying, I'll talk to ChatGPT. So I think right now ChatGPT for me is probably the best. Their best thing is that they're best to talk to. So that's kind of where things are at right now for me, April 2026. I've used Grok too. I don't love Grok as much. I know a lot of people use it. I don't really use Grok hardly at all anymore. So it seems like they seem like they're behind. So I wouldn't spend too much time on that at this point. But so those are the big three. I think it's getting to the point where Claude is replacing a lot of these other AI tools. So like I was using AI app and website creators like Lovable. Lovable is an app creator, AI app creator. Very good. You can create software with it. That's very good. And I was using that, and now Claude can pretty much do everything that Lovable can do and more, I think. And so Lovable, I think, might die. And then you've got other like Gamma, they make the AI presentations that are really good. Claude can make presentations that are really good, that are actually better than Gamma now. So these smaller AI software companies, I think, are going to go extinct really quickly. So I think the market just flipped. Like these were really promising, exciting, fast growth companies, and I just like overnight they're going to be dead. Like Claude is just eating all these companies, and I think that the worry is that Claude's going to start going up the food chain, and the stock market thinks Claude's going to eat Adobe next. Maybe Adobe's a big one. That's going to be tough to eat, but this stuff gets better so fast. If you look at the statistics of how fast these things are going to get better, they're like doubling in capability every like twice a year, something like that. It's just incredible how fast they're getting better, and that's why I'm like, you have to stay on top of this because it's moving so fast. So the agentic stuff I haven't had as much luck with. I know Claude has agentic mode. I haven't done as much with that. Claude Code I've messed with a little bit. Claude Cowork I've messed with a little bit. So Claude is really, they seem to be really at the forefront of a lot of these things, and been very successful in especially the last 6 months. I feel like OpenAI is going to probably make a comeback here and come out with some really neat stuff. And then Anthropic came out with a model called Claude Mythos that they didn't release to the public, and they're not going to. It said it's so powerful at hacking that it would be too dangerous to release it because all the major servers would be hacked into and bad things would happen. So some people say that's hype. Some people say it's true. I don't know whether it's true or not. Probably there's some truth to it, I imagine. So they released that to major enterprise customers and the government so that they can find all their holes, their bugs, and fix them before some of these models do come out to the public, because it's going to happen. They're going to come out. So yeah, I think 2026 is the year. I think there could be a pretty huge inflection this year with the capability of these models getting to the point where they are superhuman in a lot of ways. I think that like Claude Mythos, that's kind of what they were saying about that, is it would be better than the best hacker in the world, maybe better than a team of the best 100 hackers in the world. And you get to that would be called super intelligence, I think. Now maybe it's only super intelligent at certain things, but that's pretty incredible that that's happening. And how does that change the world? I don't know if we all can fathom exactly what's going to happen with all of that at this point, but it's pretty weird to think about if these models can all of a sudden solve problems that teams of the best scientists in the world can't solve. We might start seeing major discoveries happening in 2026. It'd be pretty cool if we did. Material science, bioscience, medical science, different things, cures for different diseases and things like that. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now. Some of these other smaller AI apps that were really helpful are I think are going to disappear. Lovable, Gamma, they just don't. These super apps are going to eat them all. and you'll just do everything through, because nobody wants to use 20 different apps, you just want to use one. And they're just making Claude and OpenAI and ChatGPT that are so powerful and capable that they're just going to do everything. And at some point, you could kind of almost see, like, does your operating system of your phone and your computer turn into an AI system? It sure looks that way to me. It looks to me like you're going to have, and OpenAI is developing a phone for this purpose, that your phone will be, the entire base of it, software will be OpenAI. It won't be Apple or Google, it'll be OpenAI. And then OpenAI, everything will be built on that OpenAI ecosystem. And maybe Claude and Gemini will do something similar. But like when the iPhone first came out, it was a whole new ecosystem on a new device. And all these apps came out on that new system, and I think we're nearing the end of that age. We're going to have this new ecosystem, I think, all built on AI as the base layer. And I think your computer will be like that too. And who will win that? I don't know. I mean, will Microsoft come out with a base layer of AI, like AI Windows, that's the base of your computer, and then everything's built off of that? Who will be the most successful at it? I don't know yet. It's really hard to see into the future how that's all going to work. But when phones came out and the iPhone came out, Windows laptops still exist. So they didn't die and go away. They became less important for sure. So I think that's most likely what will happen is you'll have these AI systems and stuff come out, and the old stuff isn't going to die and go away. Probably it'll just become less important and less used. And you'll have these new systems that are built on AI at the foundation of them. Like the foundation of them is AI. So right now you're just running AI as an app on some other foundation, and I think that's gonna flip. And it's pretty clear to me that we're gonna get personal AI assistants very soon. Maybe it's 2027, but if you start talking to these chatbots, you start using these systems, it becomes really apparent that we're very close to where these things could just be with you all day, and you could talk to them, you could ask them to do tasks for you. They could proactively go off and do things for you that they know you're going to need to get done, like booking travel or whatever. And that's clearly in the works. You could already do this now with like OpenClaw and some of these agent things, but it's not super easy for like just the standard person to do. So we'll get to the point where it's just like you open up ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini and your agent is there, and you may need to have this new phone for this to really work, because this is going to have to be like always on, always present kind of thing. So I think maybe we're a year out from that, but yeah, you're going to have a personal assistant that can do a lot of stuff for you. I think it's pretty clear that that's going to happen. That's pretty neat. I don't know if it's quite there yet, but definitely looking forward to that. The amount of AI compute that's going to take is going to be tremendous. If you have 1 billion people using an AI assistant all day, they don't have the data centers to power that yet. So that's why you see all these companies pouring hundreds of billions of dollars in the data centers, because you look at everybody starts having AI assistants with them. That's going to take a ton of computing power. People start generating images on a regular basis from AI. That's going to take a ton. People start generating videos with AI. That's a ton of computing power. And if you start using these tools, you start to realize how explosive this is all going to be. Creating apps and websites and photos and videos and files. The amount of compute that's going to be required for all this is just enormous. And I'm just one person, and I'm pretty far the leading edge of people that are doing this stuff. Because I can see, like, as an early adopter, what happens when everybody behind me starts using all these things like this. It's going to be 100 times bigger. And that's why, the stocks for all these hardware companies are going to the moon, because they're building all the infrastructure for this. So if you invest in stocks at all, I would, look into semiconductor stocks. I mean, there's still room to run on those. It's only 2026. Those are going to run for another couple of years. So not investment advice, but go do some research on that. I've already made a ton of money off of those stocks. But yeah, as far as stocks go, I mean, Google's done incredibly well, and will continue to do so, I think. And AMD, NVIDIA, TSM, Avago, Broadcom. So really cool best investment opportunities I've ever seen in the stock market in my entire life. Never seen anything like it. So yeah, that's as far as AI. I haven't talked about real estate specifically that much, I guess. So AI for real estate, we use AI for underwriting, AI for generating offers. We're using AI for writing emails a lot. We use AI internally a lot for creating PDF documents for different plans we're working on. We use it a lot for ideas. I need an idea for marketing this or that, or I need to give me some ideas for this, or create a 30-second script for this. ChatGPT is really good at creating scripts for videos, like a 30, 60-second video script. Really can create some funny scripts. It's pretty cool. So we use it a lot for coaching or learning, like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Could you tell me, educate me on how to do this? Or I need to get better at this. Can you help coach me at this? So it's more general things like that. We are using it for sales coaching. We have our real estate investing sales coaching AI system that actually listens to our sales calls and grades our salespeople on the calls and then gives them feedback on how to improve, gives them scores. So we're doing that. We've got an AI voice agent that answers our phone calls as a backup. Our first line of defense is a person in Minnesota that answers the phone because these are really high value calls we need to answer with somebody in person. But if they're not available, the AI will answer it. It does a pretty good job. It's certainly better than voicemail. So we're doing that, and we're always watching what else we can do. And we actually have a monthly award in our company for innovation for whoever came up with the best innovation this month. And a lot of times it's AI related. It doesn't have to be, but a lot of times it is. So yeah, we're using it for marketing, social media, video creation, content creation, website design, analysis, research. There's all these reports about how it's going to replace everybody, to replace all these jobs. I mean, I haven't seen that in our company. We have this AI voice agent that, maybe it could replace somebody answering the phone, but it's not the same quality level. I think it will be, in a couple of years. But we haven't seen AI replace anybody yet. And I think, same with bookkeeping and accounting. Like, there's AI systems that are helping with that stuff, but nowhere near replacing anybody. Maybe it's 10 or 20% of their job. It just isn't. It'll get there, I think. It will get to the point where it's going to take, do 90% of the work, but it isn't there now. So all these people have been saying for the last year, everyone's going to lose their jobs, and I'm like, I don't see that just yet, but maybe in a year or two. And even software programmers and stuff, I think, I don't think a lot of them have lost their jobs. They've just taken on other work or more work. They can just do a lot more. So I think AI is just helping people do more work. It's not replacing them. This idea that an AI bot could replace you, you would have to be doing some really low-level repetitive work for that to be true, I think. And I think that, like a AI phone agent kind of thing, if you're doing like really repetitive stuff that's pretty easy to understand, like, yeah, maybe an AI, and it's low value too, an AI bot probably could do that. And but every year it's just gonna take more every year. So every year it'll start being better at phones, be able to take higher value phone jobs. I mean, I think the phone jobs are probably at very high risk because a lot of people don't like doing phone jobs. It's hard to get people to do it, and I think that's a fine industry for the AI to take over, obviously. And so AI phone jobs will probably go. I think at some point AI will do bookkeeping. Sure, it would be nice if that was out because it's very hard to get people to do bookkeeping too. So AI, as soon as AI can do bookkeeping at a decent level, I mean, you're going to see a lot of that happening. I think you're still going to need an accountant to oversee that stuff. So I don't think those jobs will just go away. We may need less people doing it. I hope that's the case. So accounting and taxes hopefully will get easier with AI. And yeah, I think it's just way easier to create things. When you get an idea to create something, you can just create it now. Like, get an idea for an app or a website. I mean, I've created stuff with under an hour, 20 minutes sometimes you create something new. Even a product, if you came up with a product idea, AI could coach you on how to find the people to help you design it and create it and build it, And it's going to take a little longer because it's a real world thing, but you could still get through and get it done. So building and creating things has gotten so much easier and faster. It's really cool for people that like to build things. So Yeah, as far as real estate, that's what I know. I do like to ask AI about, just market data, statistics, have it analyze financial statistics and things like that a lot. I'll have it analyze P&L, profit and loss statements for me, give me some insights on those. So, yeah, and I'm sure I'm not even scratching the surface on what it can do, but that's just the stuff I've used it for. And I try to use it for as much as I possibly can so I can learn more about it. So, yeah, that's all I got for you. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for listening.